Heyo,
What's up, folks?
Danny boy here.
With Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy.
We appreciate you, love you, and thank you for always joining us. Um, on a Friday,
We
happy
made it through another one,
weekend,
folks.
happy weekend, and of course, this Sunday, a special happy Mother's Day
Yes, to all the
to
moms
all.
out there, happy Mother's Day.
Yes, we love our mamas. I love my mama. I love Bill's mama, you know. No, seriously, like we hope your moms have a good weekend and all that stuff. I'm gonna go to Pennsylvania to see my family. We're gonna celebrate not only Mother's Day, but a belated birthday to me. So
Yes, I was saying, a belated happy birthday to this man over here, the one and only Danny Boy Reginald.
thank you, thank you, thank you. 31's a great age so
He
far.
is a good age.
Yeah. Um, so, but it's gonna be a great weekend. Um, Softball before I drive up to PA, so I'm stoked over it, and I'm stoked for the show. It's a good Friday. We had a little bit of baseball, a little bit of basketball to get to. Knicks have a game three. It's gonna be tough. We'll
Get to
talk
that in a
about why in a
second.
second.
We got and we got a very difficult top five.
It was a difficult top five. I remember when we were talking about it. You were a little hesitant at first because it's like, well, there's so many good one of these out there.
You'll
So
find, you'll find out.
yeah. Um, but yeah, no, I figured, look, we haven't done it before, so let's try it out. Let's see.
Why not?
You
But
know,
before we get to any of that, before we get to any of that, we got some NBA to talk about.
yeah. Uh, we have some scores throughout the week. Let's start with last night. Um, by the way, games, both of these games were on Prime Video, so I could not watch it because I was not near a screen that has Prime Video and my phone is occupied for work. So I couldn't watch any of these games. They had baseball on ESPN, which I'm like, cool, it's great. Carl Ravitch is awesome, but no, I want to listen to Mike Breen call either the Laker game, which would have been the late game, or the Cavs game. But instead it was on Prime Video, so I didn't watch it. But I know the final scores. Pistons take a 2-0 series lead. They won their games 107 to 97. Um, even though Donovan Mitchell had 31 points. Um, Kate Cunningham had 25, and um, basically the entire Pistons lineup was all over the place, and they were able to hit shots, make some timely hoops, um, while the Cavs only relied on Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen, and it was a whole disaster. James Harden only had 10 points, Evan Mobley only had 9 points. Like that's not a winning formula. You need your stars to play well, and for the
Yes.
Detroit Pistons, that was the case. So, go on Detroit to get that win, go up 2-0. I think this series is I think this series still has a chance. I'm not saying it's over. I think the Cavs are a good team, better than a lot of people think, but they certainly need James Harden to not score 10 points. I'll tell you that
Oh,
much.
they absolutely do. They absolutely need that.
Yeah.
So game three, that's Saturday. That's tomorrow, I take it.
I believe it's Saturday. Saturday, and we can watch it. It's on NBC. It's in Cleveland. Hopefully, a better performance, and we hope that the Donovan Mitchell show continues because he had the most points out of all the scorers in the game. But like I said, not enough team play. So uh, we hope for better things. And then, of course, you had the Laker game. They faced the Thunder. The Thunder, OKC, take a 2-0 series lead as well. 125-107 was the final score. Lakers complaining about the refs, but we all know the real story is that the fact that these Lakers don't match up the greatest against the Thunder. I know they had a strong second quarter, but the second half was all OKC. And, um, at the end of the day, the Lakers, it's an island of LeBron and nobody else.
Well, it looks like the old saying is true. One man is an island.
Exactly. And I know Austin Reeves, he had 31 points. He did very well. Um, but not enough scoring. Not enough scoring. They went a little deep in their bench. They didn't do much. And with OKC, they also went deep in their bench and they all their bench had productive minutes from the same people that we see all the time. Alex Caruso coming off the bench, providing a spark. He had 4 assists and 5 points. Um, and then, of course, your stars are giving you exactly what they're supposed to give you.
Exactly.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander giving you 22. Chet Holmgren giving you 22. Off the bench, Carson Wallace giving you 12. Jared McCain giving you 18. Like these are the things that the Lakers don't have that the OKC Thunder do have. And it's been rough. That series is definitely. I am not counting on the Lakers to make a comeback in that series.
You don't count on the Lakers making a comeback. You don't count on the Lakers making a comeback, Reg.
If and look, I know they also don't have Luca, but like the reality of the situation is, you know, it's not enough of an excuse to leave LeBron on an island, basically doing a lot of stuff to help this team out. It's not. LeBron's older, he needs the help. And while Luka Doncic can certainly provide that spark, at the end of the day, this is a team sport. And Lakers just don't seem that deep. So I just think that the Thunder have the better, deeper squad. And they're championship ready.
And so, yeah, we got that going on, but we also got game three tonight in Philadelphia.
Mhm.
The New York Knicks up on a 2-0 lead, but Knicks fans are getting a little nervous right now.
Yeah.
OG Anunoby came out with a hamstring injury.
Yeah, he's been nursing that. He got injured in the fourth quarter. Had to miss basically not the entire quarter, but a good chunk of it. Um, it's a hamstring strain. He's day to day. According to Ian Begley of SNY, they're optimistic he can either play game three or game four. If I'm OG, I'm skipping the night. Like you're not playing on a bad hamstring. Um,
And that's going to be a big problem for the Knicks because Anunoby is the team's second leading scorer, averaging 21.4 points a game, shooting 53.8% of them from 3-point range in the playoffs. So
yeah.
now they're going to have to rely on Karl Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah. And of course, Mitchell Robinson was out last game because he was sick, and we hope he feels better. Um, yeah,
And
the scoring is going to take a dive, but also this presence on defense. Like people forget, OG Anunoby, yes, he's a great scorer, and we love that. We love that he scores, but he's also a big time defender. He can help out Josh Hart. He can help out Jose Alvarado. Um, Mitchell Robinson, Cat, all of them. Mikal Bridges, the last like 3 games, has played exceptional on defense. So their defense is also going to take a hit. So with that said, they're going to have to step up a little bit more. Josh Hart may have to, be that leader on the defensive side, and then hopefully you get continue to get the help from Mikal Bridges. And then the scoring, Bill, you nailed it. It has to be Karl Anthony Towns.
Carl
Karl Anthony
Anthony Towns
Towns,
got to be the guy tonight.
he is so skillful. He can shoot well beyond the arc, but he can also use his body to go into the
Carl Anthony
paint.
Towns.
So it's to me, utilizing Cat and him being that bully is going to be huge. Um, haven't been in love with Brunson's play of late. It's not horrible, but it's not the greatest. I would like for him. I know he was much better. I think he was better in game one. Game two was okay. Um, and again, like we're gonna need a big time leadership out of him. And
Of course, Brunson.
yeah, and then of course, I'm not sure about the status of Joel Embiid yet, but uh,
But you're getting a little. Knick fans are starting to get a little nervous right now, pal.
yeah, I mean, and but like I said, as long as and again, it's going to take a dive, no matter what. It's going to take a dive that the team in general. But as long as everyone else steps up, I'm not saying the Knicks are going to blow them out because it was pretty obvious that the Sixers found a way to get to the Knicks in game two, even though they lost. They found their way to adjust.
No, I
You know,
agree.
they're someone's gonna have to step up and not allow the adjustments made by the Sixers to make or break them. Like, I really hope this doesn't turn out to be like the Indiana series 2 years ago, where they lost OG Anunoby in game two, and the Knicks weren't the same after that. And again, the Indiana was deeper at the time the Knicks are. The Knicks are way more deeper now. So that the hope is that they're in a much better shape. And
And when you also go Knick fans, even if Anunoby wasn't injured, I would say don't pop the champagne just yet.
oh yeah, I mean you saw what Philly did. I mean,
Philly
they
was down 3 games to 1 against Boston.
yeah, that and then also in game two, Cat got into trouble, foul trouble. He had to be taken out of the game. So there's one less big that you have to use. They obviously had no Mitchell Robinson, so you have to use the Ariel Hukuporti, who was horrendous. He
No.
was getting fouls like crazy too. Um, they forced Josh Hart to have to play a little harder than usual. And he was getting fouled and he was getting complaints, and the refs did not have a good game in terms of making these foul calls. But that doesn't matter. The Philly found a way to adjust. So who's to say that they can't adjust at home and beat the Knicks in game three without OG Anunoby? It's gonna be very tough.
Okay. But no, like, listen, this is probably the most scared any team that's up 2 games to 0 should be right now, Reggie.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this, having a 2-0 series lead going into this game, as much as it stinks because we may not have OG tonight, and my bet is that he's not going to play. Um, yeah, I think, you know, that's a big deal. Big enough deal where to a point where Knick fans are going to be not necessarily scared, but concerned because we need OG Anunoby, a healthy OG Anunoby to really play this out in the playoffs and make a big run.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully OG probably won't be there tonight, but he's If he's there for game four, fingers crossed.
Yeah. By the way, I know Philly, they tried to stop Knick fans from coming into their arena by
They do
capping
this all
off
the time.
the ticket sales only to people that live in the Philadelphia area.
Now,
Well,
I hate when they do that. I really do.
but you know what? The Yankees did it to the Red Sox too. So it's like,
Okay, fair.
whatever. Like,
But you know what? They could call a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy.
but the secondary market, Game
Yes, I don't
Time,
think. I think
StubHub,
these people. I think these teams don't think we're really dumb.
yeah.
I think they think we're really dumb, Reg, and don't know how to do this.
Yeah, I think it was Game Time where they saw a rise in ticket sales from northern New Jersey and New York City area codes. So, or like New York area codes in general to go to that game three. So, whatever plan that the Sixers had didn't work because they're trying to not make it Madison Square Garden South. Well, too bad. Like it's going to be Madison Square Garden South no matter
People are
what.
gonna find ways to buy tickets here, folks.
You know, so goddamn.
They got the secondary markets here, folks. They're gonna find ways to get tickets.
Yeah.
They're not. We're not. What are you gonna do? Go to the parking lot and look for New York license plates? Go, okay, we can't let this guy in. Okay, we can't let that guy in. And if you do that, dude, you got way too much free time on your hands.
Goddamn.
In the words of the band Styx, you got too much time on your hands. Remember, Reggie, I basically listen to the music your boomer dad listens to. Anyway, um, yeah, but no, Philly, come on. Speaking of the Knicks, did you see this the other day when they had the Met Gala, which I don't know why on God's green earth that thing has to exist. I really don't.
I mean, special event, I guess.
Just a bunch of rich folks rubbing elbows with each other.
Yeah.
But did you see Ben Stiller? Because he's a
Mhm.
Knicks fan. He
Yeah.
had that look on his face like, oh, I'd rather be at the Garden than this thing.
I know. I
Did you see
know.
that? And they go, and you go, what about the Knicks game, Bad? What do you think? And he went, Knicks in six.
Well, you can thank Christine Taylor for that because, she probably wanted him to go to Met Gala. She wanted to go to Met Gala. They're married, so they're tied to the hip.
Oh, I'm sure he was not enjoying that.
Yeah. But he got a lot of crap for it. He got a lot of crap. People call him a fraud, that he's a that he is a he's only joined the Knicks fandom over the last few years, which we obviously know. Anyone who knows Ben Stiller knows that's not true at all. His dad went to Knicks games all the time. You had pictures of Ben Stiller having a Knicks poster and wearing Knicks shirts when he was a kid. So we all know that's definitely not true. But he got a lot of crap for it, for going to Met Gala over the Knicks game. I said,
Listen,
I'm
like I
sorry.
said,
Like,
I'm not a fan of the Met Gala, but
you
I'm
know,
gonna say this. His wife probably really wanted to go, and he's probably been dragging her to the Knicks games, and
yeah,
marriage is compromise. So he probably want to say, okay, she's probably like, hey, honey, the Met Gala is May, whatever Monday was. Oh, May 4th. May the 4th be with you, duh. Is May 4th. Honey, can we go? Okay, sure. But you know this thing is probably planned months in advance.
yeah. And of course, you just never know when the Knicks are going to be playing, right? And it was a good game to miss because there was a blowout anyway. So,
And then
it
probably,
was like you missed it.
honey, do we have to go to the Met Gala? Come on, the Knicks. I'd rather go to the Garden.
Yeah.
Dear, fine. Oh, I'm sure he was probably because in the olden days, you'd probably have to like bring one of those radios with a earpiece in there and listen.
Exactly.
Right nowadays, we could just check our phones.
Well, you know, one time at the Oscars, the Knicks were playing during the Oscars, and
Spike Lee.
no, Ben Stiller, you was presenting at the Oscars. And he said, "I'm sorry, I was watching the Knicks game live on TV." So it's like he's a Knicks fan. You can't deny that, you know.
Oh, because I remember one Oscar, and this had to do with Spike, because he was nominated for Black Klansman
Well,
that
Black
year,
Klansman, yeah.
which is a great movie, by the way.
Mm,
And Samuel L. Jackson comes on stage
yeah.
and he presented, and he was like, "Okay, don't worry, Spike, the Knicks won tonight."
Yeah. Well, you do know that Spike, it was a sort of a joke because the Knicks were terrible at the time. And he's like, "Hey, Spike, the Knicks won." And then Spike yells, "We should be tanking."
And then he ended up and I
Yeah.
think that's when he ended up winning
Yeah.
because him and Samuel L. Jackson worked a lot together and they're good friends. So I think maybe that was all a setup. But okay, you know what? Quick question before we move on to other things. This is just a fun question. It's Friday. Let's have some fun here.
Sure.
Have you ever felt painful? Have you ever felt pissed that you had to miss a sporting event for a special gathering? Birthday party, wedding,
No.
whatever.
No. Like one time I had a full month pass to see the Yankees.
Yeah,
Standing room only. Can't get
I
in
remember you
anymore.
told me that.
It was the weekend that I was going to Memorial Day trip to see everybody, all my family, friends, and all that stuff. Um, and there was a game on Friday that got rained out. It was going to be a double header. It ended up being a straight double header, and I couldn't go because we were going to be traveling. So
Well, you could have given the ticket to your old pal Bill.
I think I gave it to Ross, but but no, I couldn't go. Um, so like yeah, I missed a weekend of good baseball. Yankees, I think, won a bunch that weekend. Um, and but it was for a good reason. Spending time with your family, special times and everything. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I don't feel bad because ultimately, even if my team was in the playoffs and it's a big deal, you know, ultimately your people come first, your family, your friends, their feelings, their accomplishments, celebrating whatever weddings and graduations, like all that's something you don't want to miss out. Like that's like real FOMO there. Sports you can always watch highlights and stuff and everything.
But
But the real FOMO is not
I mean,
attending something special with your special loved ones.
well, here's two things. One was actually a special event. This is from more from other people's perspective. I told you this story before. It was back in January during the Buffalo Bills playoff game. My buddy was getting married and he went to school in Buffalo, and all his friends who were huge Bills fans. That was fun.
Yeah.
And his mother-in-law, my friend's mother-in-law, wouldn't let the game be shown at the bar. So we're not cavemen, Reg. We have technology.
Yeah. Now, of course, like I said,
I'm like thinking, Mrs. Doran, I'm sure you're a lovely lady, but Mrs. Doran, it's 2026. We have phones.
yeah,
No, no, I'm sure she's a lovely person. I met her once very briefly. She's a lovely person, but people gotta know it's 2026. We're not cavemen, Reggie. We have technology.
yeah.
Got it. God, I just did a SpongeBob joke. But ask me if I'm ashamed of that.
Are you ashamed of it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But oh no, this wasn't an accomplishment thing. This was just like a Halloween party, and it was on the night of Game 5 of the ALCS in 2024.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I missed game 6 of the World Series last season because I was at a Halloween party. Like, and that was a great game six too. Like I missed a lot in that game,
Well, no,
you
I
know?
would have been disappointed to miss that game because,
Yeah.
but if the Yankees weren't in it, I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it. If the
No.
Yankees were in it, then I would be losing. I'd be losing a month's worth of sleep over
Yeah.
it. But no, I was at a my friend's girlfriend's Halloween party,
Yeah.
and I remember when it was going into Game Five, me
Ooh.
and JT from Super Review Show were like, "Oh, do we have to go to this tonight? We just want to
Mm.
sit back, crack open a few beers, have some wings, and watch the game."
Yeah.
And
What was another time?
and
Oh,
then
go ahead. Finish your thought.
and then I remember I said, "Okay, but we're," and I told my friend's girlfriend, who was really cool. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna be keeping my eye on my phone starting at 8 o'clock, so I'm just warning you." And she goes, "Okay, just don't be too antisocial." I'm like, "You got it." And I remember when the Yankees, because the Yankees were down, and then when Giancarlo tied it at 2-2, at 2-2,
Yeah.
and then I remember when we were going into extras, me and JC were like, "Okay, we gotta go. Good seeing you all. Bye." And they're like, they're probably listening to the game in the car, aren't they? Goes, "We are." And then Reg got the famous voicemail. You
Mm.
remember that voicemail, Reggie? The famous
Exactly. Yeah.
voicemail.
Yep.
When I'm like, "Reg, series bow, let's fucking go." The
Still have that voicemail saved in
Aw.
here and everywhere else.
Wanna be
Um,
with you everywhere. So
yeah.
anyway, Reggie, remember?
Yeah.
That
No,
was a
it
good
was
night.
it was a great night.
Yeah.
I've also because my cousin was dancing at the Halloween parade in New York, which is a big deal in New York. Just like every parade that they have. Um, she's doing Michael Jackson's Thriller, I think. This was the '09 World Series. We had to listen to a lot of that game in the car. Like I think the furthest we got was the A-Rod home run that went off the camera. I don't know if you remember that. They had to review that home run. Um, but it went like off the camera lens, and because the camera lens was over the line, it counted as a home run. Um, but I missed a chunk of that game. The Yankees ended up winning. I missed a chunk of that game, game three against the Phillies because we had to go see my cousin dance in the Halloween parade. So, um, yeah, yeah, I don't missing sports while incredibly supporting. It, if it's something that involves your loved ones, like it's a different feeling, you know.
I feel like if it's like a birthday party or a wedding or a graduation, that's one thing.
Yeah.
You know, but if it was like I said, if it's like, "Hey, we're just getting together tonight," I'd be like, game's on."
Yeah.
No, but I think you got to take it on a case by case
Yeah.
basis.
Now I've done that many times where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm at the special event, but the Yankees are playing, so I'll watch it while I'm mingling
But I feel
during
like
this.
if it's a regular season game, fine, whatever. But if it's like a postseason game,
Mhm.
do not bother me.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
there have been many times where I've had regular season football while visiting a cousin, spending time, and the Jets will be playing, so I'll be like, I'll put the Jet game on. Of course, my cousin would get pissed because we have sports on, you know?
and like my like that night, the game five 2024 ALCS night, I remember my friend's girlfriend's father busting my chops a little bit, like, let's all root for a game seven. I'm like, no, I cannot handle that. You know what would happen if it was a game seven? Reggie could testify to that, and so could my dear friend Justin. I would lock myself in this basement with no form of human contact, and I'd be on that couch with a beer in my hand watching the game.
Well, you do realize if Cleveland had forced a game seven in that series, based on how game three went, that would have been pretty tough. Like Yankees would have been put in a tough position. So
And then, yeah, I so no, I I remember I was because I saw him a couple because I saw my friend's girlfriend's dad a couple weeks ago, and I said, and then we were talking about that as I'd be down in my basement with no human contact, glued to the TV watching the game. He goes, doesn't sound like a bad night. Yeah, but get back to with Ben still like. Listen, I think he really wanted to be at the Garden. He really wanted to be at the Knick game. But, his wife was like, come on, they made these plans months ago. So they're like,
yeah.
so I'm sure he would rather be at the Knick game than be at the Met Gala.
Yeah, and of course, um, obviously they're comparing, the likes of they're comparing the likes of Timothy Chalamet, who's with Kylie Jenner. Kylie Jenner went to the Met Gala. He didn't. But it's different when you're married. Like
He's Ben is probably if there's he's probably telling me Chalamet. I wish I had the guts you did.
yeah.
But again, like Timothy Chalamet and Kylie Jenner are just dating while Ben Stiller and his wife are married. So you got okay. So the people who are attacking Ben Stiller for going to the Met Gala rather than going to the Knicks game, guys, lay off.
Yeah.
His wife probably really wanted to go, and he was doing it for his wife. So guys, lay off. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
And look, he went to game two, and I'm sure if the Knicks were to come back to the Garden, he'll be there.
He'll be there.
Like, or he traveled to Indiana last year for the conference final.
Maybe he's going to Philly tonight. Who
I
knows?
mean, you never know. Like, but Ben Stiller's a real Knicks fan. He goes to regular season games against a bunch of nobody teams. Like, he's always there. So don't question other people's fandom. That's all I
Yeah,
gotta
no,
say.
that's gatekeeping. I don't like when people gatekeep.
It's dumb.
It
Like,
is.
what do you mean?
All right, so let's go to baseball. Yankees took 2 out of 3 from Texas this week.
Mm, yeah, it was a good series for the Yankees. They did lose Jason Dominguez. Um, he was carted off. I believe it's a shoulder, if I'm not mistaken. His
Then they
AC
call,
joint in his left shoulder.
then they called up Spencer Jones.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, if you ever see Jason Dominguez, the video of him crashing to the wall, it's pretty scary stuff. We don't wish that upon anybody. We're glad that he doesn't have a concussion, but like I said, on the IL because of his shoulder injury. So, and Bill's just said it. Spencer Jones time. How do you
It's
feel about
Spencer.
that?
I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Same,
Let's do
though.
it.
If I'm being real with you, either Oswaldo or dare I say Anthony Volpe probably would have been a better call up. But I get what they're doing. You know, let the kid play. Let's see what we have in him. He's crushing it in AAA. He's been crushing it for a while. Let's see what we have in this kid, this Spencer Jones guy.
Yeah.
And I'll be rooting for him, and I hope he does a pretty good job.
Yeah, and it's funny you brought up Anthony Volpe because I saw a post on one of my Yankee pages the other day.
Yeah.
They're comparing Anthony Volpe to Wally Pipp. For all most of you who don't know who that is, most of you probably don't even know who that is.
Yeah.
But Wally Pipp was the first baseman for the New York Yankees in the 1920s, but he's known more for who replaced him than who than him as a player. He's known more for who replaced him, and that was Henry Louis Garrick. Yes, Lou Gehrig replaced him. But now I wouldn't go that far comparing Anthony Volpe to Wally Pipp. Like, come on. But no, Spencer Jones, welcome to the Bronx. All right, other baseball news.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for him. Can't wait to see what he does.
Yeah, and
Um,
did you see on Monday, after we had the passing of the late great John Sterling, did you see Michael Kay on his show?
yeah, I saw that. I mean, look, he had a very good relationship with John Sterling. Obviously, going back to their days as the play-by-play guys over on channel 77 WABC radio. Um, and of course, him getting choked up because he was John Sterling. One of the things that he was really hoping for was to hold on for his daughter's wedding to walk her down the aisle.
Which is happening this summer.
And he tells Michael K that he's like, I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. And Michael K gets choked up talking about that. And that's tough. That's tough that you're obviously you're dying of this heart disease. Um and all you're asking for is to attend a wedding for your child. Like, yeah, like it's sad.
It was
And
hard.
I'm, and I'm
I was heartbroken hearing that.
yeah, and I'm glad that Michael K shared that story, even though it must have been really hard for him to share that story because of what John Sterling meant to all of us, especially him. Um,
Because he called him his closest friend.
yeah. So it was like, um, I'm glad that he told that story because it told a vulnerable side of Sterling. We always known him as the entertainer. He's on the radio, he sings, he laughs, you know,
And
does all these witty calls and stuff. But then we don't get to see the vulnerable side of him,
and if you
the
watched the
emotional side
game
of
on
him.
Monday night, you heard that Michael Kay seemed his voice just seemed very somber.
Yeah, and look, he paid tribute to him all night. It is high, it is far, it is gone. The Judge Ian Blast call when Aaron Judge hit the home run. The Yankees win at the end of the game, and
And like near the end when he's doing the sign off, when he goes, "I'm Michael Kay. Join us tomorrow." And this is Michael Kay saying "See ya" from Yankee Stadium. Now over to Bob Lorenz in the studio. Like it was, "I'm Michael Kay. See ya. Rest in peace, John. We will miss you. May your memory be a blessing." Now over to Bob. Now over to Bob Lorenz in the studio. And wow, just what I think would be a nice gesture. What if Michael Kay walks John Sterling's daughter down the aisle? I think that would be a very nice gesture.
the
And this is
only
the
thing
part
I'll
where
say,
Reg tells me I'm crazy.
no, it's not a crazy idea.
Yeah.
Like, it's not crazy. The only thing I would argue is, well, what if the mom walks her down the aisle? You know, or like
Okay.
a
Yeah.
special family member. Um, But then you can argue Michael K's like family to them. So it's like,
Well, I don't. Well, I know Michael Kay's relationship with John Sterling. I don't know what Michael Kay's relationship with the rest of the family is. I'm sure they're probably rather close
yeah,
because him and John have been working together for many, many years. No, but I think that would be a nice gesture.
yeah.
But yeah, but no, Yankees now going to, what is it, Milwaukee, I think?
Yeah. And another reason why I'm kind of shocked because Milwaukee, they're no cookie. They're not necessarily, I wouldn't say they're the best team in baseball, but they're a good team. I would much rather have like a Spencer Jones in a situation where they're facing like the Orioles, which we will be facing next week. You know. but whatever the Yankees want to do, I guess, you know.
Okay, so baseball news. Like I said, Yankees. Um, Tonight the Astros play the Reds. Rockies play the Phillies. A's play the O's. Angels play the Blue Jays. Rays play the Red Sox. Nationals play the Marlins. Twins play the Guardians. Tigers play the Royals. We just said Yankees play the Brewers. Mariners play the White Sox. Cubs play the Rangers. Mets play the Diamondbacks. Cardinals play the Padres. Braves play the Dodgers. Pirates play the Giants.
Yeah. And a good series to watch this weekend. You have Braves and Dodgers. Um,
NLCS preview, maybe?
I mean, if the season continues to be as massively dominant for the Braves and Dodgers as it has been already, like, yeah, I could definitely see that. You, at the very least, you're getting a preview of what two good baseball teams look like. So I'll definitely be locked in. It's probably I won't watch every game, obviously. Got to worry about my teams, but I'll definitely be locked into all the highlights of that series because I'm very excited about two good teams going at each other's throats. Like nothing excites me more. Um, Interesting
Nah,
weekend. Got some okay matchups.
you got some okay matchups this week.
Yeah. Um,
And also, okay. Um, did you hear that they're gonna expand the March Madness tournament to
yeah.
76 teams?
How dumb is that? Like,
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
why? And here's the thing, no fan is asking for this. You have to understand, we're fine with the field of 68.
You know that
You had the first four, and then of course you have your round of 64 after that. Like we're okay with that. Now you're adding games, possibly on what, Tuesday and Wednesday? Monday, maybe Sunday after the selection. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we adding more games to the NCAA schedule? And for what? So that you can have more at-large bids and um, everybody gets in?
it's like that meme that no one ever NCAA. Let's expand the tournament from 68 to 76.
Yeah.
Like everyone else, blank NCAA. Let's expand the tournament. You know what meme I'm talking about, right?
Like exactly. Like, why would you add more teams? And again, a lot of these are going to be at-large bids, so it's going to be much easier to get an at-large bid. Like the whole point of the at-large bid was to work for it.
I disapprove of this. Do you, Reg?
Yeah. And it makes
Put us in charge
when
of this shit.
and it makes the conference tournaments even more meaningless because of it.
Yeah, so yeah, put us in charge of this shit.
Yeah. Obviously, we don't know the full details of how they're going to expand it. We don't know what exactly they're going to do. My guess is they're probably going to have like a quick 2 round first part of the tournament before um they do the whole field, and then we'll have the real tournament. I don't know. I don't. I'm not in love with it. I don't like it.
I'm not in love with it either.
Yeah.
Whose bright idea was this?
The
Whose bright idea was
NCAA.
this,
It's a
Reg?
money grab. It's a money grab by the NCAA.
Is this our payback money grabber?
Yeah.
I didn't. Is this paid back for anyway? This is your payback, money grabber. Anyway, so now we move on. So now it is time for the hardest top five ever.
Yeah, man.
And this is our top five broadcasters of all time. Reg. Wow. And okay, a few little caveats here. One, I think we're only including national broadcasters, right?
Only national. Yes.
And when we mean broadcasters, we mean those who call the games, not who. So people like Stephen A. Smith will not be on this list, right?
I mean, it depends on what you think as a broadcaster. Obviously, you and I are on the same page of what we view.
Yeah. Dude, this was a hard list to make. All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here's our top five broadcasters of all time.
Mhm.
All right, Reggie, who's your number five?
My number five, Marv Albert, the great Marv Albert. Yes, Marv Albert.
Guess what? We swiped right. We swiped
Hey.
right.
No, Marv Albert, obviously, before he became a national prominent broadcaster, and he was a phenomenal broadcaster, football, basketball, and everything. Before that, he was the Knicks broadcaster for so many years, and we like the many years that before he retired, more recently, he was just a constant presence in my life, and I loved his voice of basketball, loved it.
The
Marv Albert,
voice of basketball, absolutely.
you know,
And no, and just how much enthusiasm he has, like you said, yes.
yeah,
And and when he gets, it just makes you get so excited when you're listening to this to him. So yes, my number five is Marv Albert. Reggie, you're number four.
my number four. Um, I gotta go with the man, Iron Eagle. You know, and I know you probably disagree with me, but you have to understand the his excitement for everything that he calls is just unbelievable. You know, and the way he emphasizes the intercepted, picked off, like it's just it's tremendous stuff. So he does a great job on NFL Sundays, does a great job with the NBA, college basketball too. So Iron Eagle. And of course he for I think he's approaching 3 decades where he's doing the Nets games too on Yes. So
God bless him.
God bless him for sure.
All right, my number four, the late great Howard Cosell.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
when he would go, those famous things, when he would say, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. And of course, there was that. Reg, if I say this line, would you promise not to hate me?
Go for it.
And the line that gave him a little controversy when he said, "Look at that little monkey go!" And a lot of people thought that Howard Cosell was racist for saying that. But
Yeah.
he said, no, I say that to my grandson when I'm at his. He said, I said that to my grandson when I'm at his like pee wee games. a lot of people thought that Howard Cosell was racist for saying that. But did you know he actually defended Muhammad Ali during all that and defended the fellas at the Olympics who were
Oh yeah, yeah. No, he wasn't he wasn't a bigot like everybody else.
maybe he shouldn't have said it,
I
but I
mean,
don't think Howard Cosell was racist. But it's also
no,
a moment that I don't know if you ever saw this, Reg. Howard Cosell, he called Monday Night Football. He was calling it the night John Lennon died.
yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah,
know.
Monday Night Football. Yeah,
He got the because Howard Cosell knew John. I don't know if they were friends, but he actually had interviewed him a few years prior on Monday Night Football, and he was somebody had told him, "Hey, John Lennon was killed," and said, "Oh no, should we bring this up?"
yeah. I
And he's with
mean,
Frank Gifford. He's like,
he-
"Giff, I'm gonna let you talk about the game for a second. I'm gonna come in and then that's when he came in and said, John Lennon of the beat. I remember what he exactly said. I wasn't alive, but I've seen the clip when he said, "This is just a game. No matter who wins or who loses, an unspeakable tragedy has just happened. John Lennon of the Beatles was shot outside his apartment in Dakota, in New York City. Dead on arrival. How do we go back to the game after that?" Like, no, that's a fair point.
yeah. I mean, look,
How do you go back to a game just
look,
after that?
and this is the thing, um, Howard Cosell had a responsibility that night to make sure people got big news. Because I mean, I don't know what technology was at the time. I don't know if ABC News could cut in like they used to, like they do nowadays,
Well,
obviously.
they
You
were
know,
probably waiting for the news to come in.
right. So he had a responsibility working for ABC, getting all this news from ABC News. Like, um,
And it's kind of like the night when Bin Laden was killed. It was
exactly.
during
I was gonna bring that up too.
during the Mets Phillies game
Yeah,
but the difference between those is, we have these now. We don't have to wait for the
right.
TV. We just scroll up and then I remember during that when the stadium was going, USA, USA. And he goes, "Okay, we got big news right now. We're gonna go." Bin Laden said because this game was on ESPN. If you want to know more about that, go to your ABC affiliate. Yeah, but Howard Cosell had a responsibility that night, and I think he handled it with the class he has. All right, so Reg, what's your number three?
My number three, Bob Costas.
Oh, dude, we swiped right again. Who's buying who dinner?
Well, I have more, no offense, I have more money, so I'll probably do it. Like, why not?
Oh, it
Like,
was your birthday yesterday. I'll buy.
yeah, I appreciate that. You the best. Um, no, Bob Costas, man. Um, Not necessarily because of his play-by-play, though his play-by-play was exceptional when
Oh,
he
it is.
exceptional. I know he had a bad run with TBS in the baseball. He wasn't great, but with NBC, phenomenal. But no, like every Olympics that he did, Sunday Night Football, the Football Night in America, like him being that great host and really, even though he didn't have to because it's television, him telling the great stories and painting the picture was just a masterclass. And
Yes, absolutely.
he's a great reporter. He's very smart and very knowledgeable. Every time he does like a nice feature, he always asking the right questions. Like, he's just a phenomenal, and he has just a beautiful voice.
He
Like,
does. And and what's actually an interesting fact about Bob Costas? Like you said, everything about him is great. Did you know one time, because I was listening to him when he was on Bill Maher's podcast, Club Random, Bob Costas at one point was actually offered to be a 60 Minutes commentator,
Mhm.
and he actually turned it down because he wanted to spend more time with his family because a thing that he loves about his job is that like, hey, I'm covering the Bulls game. And he can say to his kids, hey, I'm covering the Bulls game. I got courtside tickets for you guys. So no, but no, that's pretty cool. He turned down to be a so he could because he loved sharing that with his family.
Mhm.
So that's something I madly respect. And no, but no, I love Bob Costas, and you know, he asked all the right questions. Everything you just said, I agree with you. All right, since we both have the same number three, what's your number two? If we have the same number two and number one, I'm gonna scream.
My number two is Al Michaels.
Damn it!
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding
We
you.
we we swear we're not cheating. We're
We're
not
not. We didn't even look at anyone's list.
like, oh my
Reggie,
God.
you probably hate me right now, don't you?
No, I don't hate it. It's just weird,
We
bro.
think too much alike.
Yeah, yeah, man. Ah.
Okay, number two, Al Michaels. All these years he's still going strong. The call for the Hail Mary or the Fail Mary, the calls during the Super Bowl, and of course we all know his most famous call. We all know the most famous call, Reg.
Mhm.
5 seconds left. 4 seconds. And do you believe in miracles? Yes.
Mhm.
Now, Al Michaels, he is just truly a national treasure. He really is. He just really is truly a national treasure. And that he has to deal with Chris Collinsworth every week, talking about how much he loves Patrick Mahomes. Oh God, dude, Al Michaels is a freaking saint for having to deal with that. Reg,
Yeah,
having to deal with Chris Collinsworth talk about how much he loves Patrick Mahomes every week. God bless you, Al
I
Michaels.
know. Yeah.
You know who would have made that pass out? Who, Chris? Patrick Mahomes. But no, Al Michaels is just a legend. Red, do you have anything to say on this?
All I have to say on it is Al Michaels, again, another multi-sport broadcaster, did everything the right way, knew how to handle moments, like
Yes.
big moments well. Um, another exceptional broadcaster. And I give him more credit today than any other time because he still does it and still enjoys doing it.
Yes.
Like he could have retired after losing the NBC job to Mike Tirico, but instead he goes to Amazon Prime. That's not just someone that just decides, oh, I'm going to go to Amazon Prime just because. Like, no,
He
he's
loves what
doing
he
it because
does.
he loves it, you know?
He's basically like, yeah, another Beatles reference. He's basically like Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney could just hang it up right now, go back to Liverpool, and just spend out the rest of his life. But he tours because he loves doing it. That's what Al Michaels like. Al Michaels, he doesn't need the money. He could retire, go enjoy his life with his wife, his children, his grandchildren, and that's it. But no, he does it because he loves it. Okay, number one, Reg. I'm gonna break the number one, and we're gonna see if we have the same one. Are you ready?
Okay, go
I
ahead.
have a feeling we do. My number one is Vin Scully.
My number one is Vince
Reg,
Scully.
get out of my head! Just get out of my freaking head! I don't
For argument's sake, our number one's Vince Scully.
like.
But let's just say my number one ended up being Joe
Nah.
Buck.
That I would deeply question you.
I know, right?
But no, Vince
Um,
Scully. Like, here's my thing about Vin Scully. When he had carried some of the greatest moments in baseball. He covered Don Larson's perfect game. He covered he covered Hank Aaron beating Babe Ruth's record when he said a black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South, and covered the historical the aspect of it. And also he covered and he also covered the catch, the Montana to Dwight Clark.
Yeah.
He covered that.
Hmm.
And also, I think we know what our favorite one is. Behind the bag! It gets through Buckner! Here comes Knight and the Mets win it! And when you say a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Hmm. And of course, you have the just incredibly near 70-year run as the Dodger broadcaster. Almost 7 decades. And again, it's a local team, right? In Los Angeles. Before that, he was in Brooklyn too. You know, like just uh, the voice of baseball. He was a friendly guy. He was a loving guy, always happy to show up at the ballpark, and his calm demeanor when calling a game. And sports games that pretty dramatic. He called the catch, the
Yes.
49ers. Obviously a bunch of World Series, including that 86 World Series. Um, like he he could have been a massive yeller and screamer. He was the calmest of all of them.
And you know what? When you watch games with him, you felt like you were watching a game with a friend. You say, "Hey,
Yeah,
let me pull up a chair, let me tell you a story."
yeah.
And you know what? And this actually brings me to tears. And this was his final sign off before he retired. I remember he said this, "You and I have been friends for a very long time,
Mhm.
and I needed you more than you needed me,
Yeah.
and I'll miss our time together."
Mhm.
Like, I could tell if this is someone you grew up with, if this is someone you grew up with, that has gotta be like you're
Mhm.
probably bursting into tears listening to that because that is someone you grew up with. We talked about this the other day when we were talking about the passing of John Sterling. Like, to those who grew up watching and listening to Vin Scully, that's like us with John Sterling.
Yeah.
We lost like a friend.
Yeah. But the cool part about Vince Scully is that, you know, we got to experience Vince Scully on the national stage.
Yeah,
And a lot of people
we,
didn't get to experience John Sterling on the national stage. It was mostly
yes,
on the local stage, where there's obviously with us and the Yankees or with the Atlanta fans with the Hawks. You know, he was more of a local broadcaster than he was a national broadcaster.
yeah. But with Vin Scully and his sign off, and I wish you a very pleasant good afternoon wherever
Yeah.
you may be.
We once did a batter up. I believe it's not on the batter up podcast feed. It's on the SIP podcast feed somewhere where we did a tribute to Vince Scully
After he
um,
passed away.
after he passed away. We did like a montage opening of his all of his best calls. Um, I forget where it is. I'll probably link it somewhere if you
Yeah.
can't find it. But it's in there somewhere, and um, it's just a tremendous. He's such a great broadcaster, dude. Like We miss him obviously every day and stuff. So yeah,
And I actually watched recently from a couple years ago. Michael Kay was interviewing him
yeah,
when the Yankees were in Los Angeles, and you could tell Michael Kay is like in awe.
fangirling as I like to as the younger generation likes to call it nowadays.
Yeah,
Starstruck, as we all
but
say, you know?
not like his style, his calm demeanor. It was like he had that way. It's like you were watching the game with a friend.
Yeah. And he
And
knew how to draw an audience. He knew what was appropriate, what wasn't appropriate. Like,
it's like well, okay, when he did like the national games, he had partners. But when
right,
he did the Dodgers game, he was by
solo,
himself.
solo.
But and I think that because that's like sitting there, okay, I'm watching the because he would say, "Hey, pull up a chair. Let me tell you a story."
Hmm.
Like it's like he's literally in our living room watching the game with us.
Yeah, true.
And I think that's what made him such a great broadcaster. And again, when he said, "I'll miss our time," when he said, "We've been friends a very long time, and I'll miss our time together." It sounded like a friend moving away.
Yeah.
So yeah, both of our number one. Okay, and that's our list. Okay, dude, we really got to look at each other's lists next time. We really do.
Yeah.
We got to do that. Okay, so you want to if you want more, and Reg, why wouldn't you? Because his content's amazing. Go to www.esportssocietynetwork.com. Check out our blogs, check out our history, check out our podcast available on all platforms, and check us out here on the YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell.
Enjoy Mother's Day. Look, Bill and I are lucky because we still have our moms. There's a lot of people out there that aren't so lucky. Please share that time with your mom this weekend.
Whether it's your mom, your stepmom, your grandmother, your
Yeah,
aunt, or
all of
maybe
them.
you have a woman in your life who's been a maternal figure to you.
Hmm.
So, yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
Yeah.
And from all of us here, stay safe.